Hello everyone, Eva here and welcome to the next episode of Art Side of Life, where I chat with inspiring artists and create various art-related videos. Before we go to the interview, I wanted to let you know that my course Storytelling with Color and Light is now available for you at artsideoflife.com/color. I designed the course for beginner and intermediate artists, breaking the big topic of color and light into smaller parts to help you understand the main concept so you can make your artworks appealing and believable. So check it out at artsideoflife.com/color. And now let's go back to the interview. My guest today is Lei Melendres, and in this episode we will also talk about the common artist struggles of pricing our work and how much should we charge for our art. Lei is a freelance illustrator and professional doodle artist from Manila, Philippines. His work has been featured in the different publications from art and design websites and local and international galleries and exhibits. Lei currently serves as a head of Doodle Art Enthusiasts, the Philippines' largest doodling community, and as a creative director of Doodle Arts magazine. Under his leadership, the group has grown to over 30 clients and more than 1,000 members. Last year, he released his already fourth coloring book called Exploratorium, a search and color mission. And now, please welcome Lei, and let's get to the interview. So, welcome everyone to the next episode of Art Side of Life, and I'm super happy to have Lei here. Hi!
Hello.
I'm super happy that you joined us here today, and let's just start directly with the background and maybe you can share some of your biggest decisions you had to do in order to get where you are now in your art journey.
Well, I actually started doing drawings way back when I was really young, and I think the best influence for me was animes. I started doodling because I saw animes and they were drawn really nice. And throughout the years, I've been practicing and been trying out different styles. And now I do it as a full-time job.
Oh, that's perfect. And so when you were growing up, did you have like some favorite, anime or like cartoons, which influenced you the most?
I actually have a lot. One is Yu Yu Hakusho or Ghost Fighter here. The anime had a different title here. Mm-hmm. It's Ghost Fighter. Dragon Ball, the usual, and Flame Freka. A lot of different animes. I watched a lot of animes when I was really young.
And how was it for you to decide, okay, I will take this professionally, or, maybe the discussions, what you had with your either parents or friends, like, okay, now I want to take art seriously?
Actually, it was really tough for me because back then there weren't a lot of digital courses here in the Philippines, and people kind of think that digital art is not something you would take if you really want to earn money. So that's a negative impact, especially with the parents when you decide that you want to do art. And they would sometimes tell you that maybe you should just take engineering. It's also art, or architecture, which is actually what my dad told me to do. But after years of trying to convince them that maybe art is for me, they actually tried it and approved my decision. So they let me enroll in a digital course.
And how did you find the course, or how did you decide what to study?
Actually, it was my mom who found the ad for that course online. It's a digital course for only 6 months, and it teaches you 3D Maya, 3D software app. And she told me that maybe I should try it out. So since it's not yet that popular here in the Philippines, but it's a really interesting topic and it's a really interesting art form, and people might pay more since it's not available to most of the jobs.
Yeah. So it's more different than the other traditional art, what is maybe there, or yeah. And so,
Yeah.
how did you, like this was during your high school, or it was like after, or when did you take this course? When was like that
Uh,
moment in your life?
it was after I took one sem of computer science in college. I only took one semester and I couldn't take it anymore because math is not for me and programming is also not for me. So my mom decided that maybe I should just take a break, and she told me to like wait for something else like the one on the ad. So when she found it, I right away decided to just pursue it and try it out. And after that, I continued with a different software, which took me 6 months as well. And after those 1 year of special courses, there was this school that started to accept students in since it's just a newly built school, and they were letting people enroll before the school starts. So I found that there's a digital art class, so which was that was really perfect for me, and it's only a certificate course. And when I found the curriculum, I saw that there's a lot of drawing and digital drawing related subjects. So I applied right away.
So you're like, yes, that's for me.
Yeah, yeah, that's perfect.
Oh, perfect. So, how did you develop your skills, like maybe during this course, or what helped you the most, to improve your art?
Actually, it's really a long story. I started really young, and I was able to practice a lot of different styles, and it helps that I have an older brother who's only 10 months ahead of me, and he likes to draw as well. So we kind of did drawings and almost everything together. So sometimes, like, he would try to draw something, and I would be inspired to draw it as well and try it out. And I guess that's how I started. And I developed more of my skills during elementary, because most of my teachers who needed a student to draw something on the chalkboard, they would look for me and even yeah, and even go to different classes just to draw something. And I actually enjoyed it because they would like give a quiz and I would be exempted since I draw something for them.
That's good. That's
And
good.
I can't really remember if someone else was better than me in drawing back in the elementary. But when I took high school, it changed the way I think, because I suddenly have a lot of classmates who are really good at art, at painting, sketching, and I was so challenged by it. So I tried to become better than everyone else. So I had a goal that I want to become the best artist in the school before I went to college, and I did. I'm just kidding.
That's good.
Things-
That's good. Goals are good.
Well, things didn't go as planned. They were just too awesome, and but even though that happened, the struggle kind of helped me improve my skills, and until now I still challenge myself to draw things that I'm not comfortable with, and it's like a test, but both success and failure becomes a lesson. Success makes me realize that I can draw better things, and failure teaches me my weaknesses. So it teaches me that I should work on this and practice on this. And that's probably how I developed my skills, trial and error, with
Yeah.
a bit of learning every time.
Yeah, and do you draw every day, or how does your normal day look like? Like how many hours do you draw, or do other stuff?
Actually, I spend like 3 to 4 hours a day drawing, and actually it depends. If I have a project, I would want to do it the whole day, like only take breaks for to eat food. But I have this thing where I want to finish a project right away because it's hard to get to be in the right mood to finish a single artwork with the same mindset.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And do you have a like favorite kind of a creature or element to draw?
Actually, it's my signature character. It's my alien character because I kind of like aliens, and aliens would usually ride uh, a robot or something really high tech, and I love drawing robotic stuff.
And
So aliens.
where does this alien come from? Is it like the where was the main inspiration? Do you maybe
Oh,
think it's like something from the childhood or?
actually, there's a story behind it. I drew it on the back of my notebook together with several characters and posted it online, and people started to notice that artwork. It was just a quick doodling at the back of my notebook, and my notebook had grid lines. And after that, I tried to post a different artwork and unconsciously added the alien as well on that artwork. And on the next one, I added an alien again. And I was trying to not to duplicate any kind of monster. I want every monster to be different. So after posting 3 artworks, the people who followed my work were really into that alien because they always find it somewhere. And when I posted my 4th artwork, since I saw that people were noticing that the alien was always there, I removed it. But people started to ask why is the alien not there anymore? It's really fun to look for it. So that was the story, and I decided to just make it as my official character because I also like sci-fi and aliens, and yeah,
Oh,
that's
perfect.
about it.
And you also did the coloring book based on this looking for the characters, right?
Yeah. My latest coloring book.
Oh,
It's
perfect.
about yeah.
Yeah. Well, you can describe for people. I'm sure,
Uh,
like, if someone doesn't know, it's awesome to hear.
it's actually my latest coloring book is about coloring and searching for different elements in the drawing. And the funny thing is, all of my coloring books has this alien character in every page, but I didn't tell anyone about it. So it's like a signature for me that my character is always on every page of all the coloring books I've made.
And now they will know.
Yeah.
I was like,
Exactly.
oh. Oh, perfect. And so, how was your experience with publishing books? Maybe you can give us some tips, maybe what to do or what not to do, from your experience.
Actually, when I was doing coloring books, it really ate up all my time because most of them are trying to get to a deadline, and it's like 3 to 4 months only. So they want to publish the book as soon as possible. So I would like spend the whole day just doing the artworks for the coloring book, just for me to be able to catch up with their deadlines. And that really made my social accounts very inactive, which is really bad for social accounts because your followers would get bored for not seeing new artworks. And that became a big lesson for me for my next coloring books. So now, whenever I make a coloring book, I would try to just fit in some personal projects, or like if I'm allowed to, I would post a work in progress photo of the coloring book, so that my followers would know that I'm not posting something because I'm busy about something else,
Yeah, like
which is really
something is happening, yeah.
yeah.
Before we continue, let's thank our sponsors. If you love discovering and trying out new art tools, you should check out Art Snacks. When you subscribe, you will get a box of high-quality art supplies every month. I have already discovered so many amazing new products, limited edition tools and exclusive supplies only available to subscribers. Art Snacks definitely helps me to get more creative and try different art techniques every month. There is also Art Snacks Challenge, where you can share your artworks using only the tools in the monthly box. You also get to join the Art Snacks Mix community, where you can talk with other artists like you, inspire each other and improve together. And because you are part of Artside of Life community, you will get a special 10% discount with the promo code ARTSIDE10. So don't wait, visit artsideoflife.com/artsnacks and use the promo code ARTSIDE10. If you are a digital artist, you will love Astropad. Astropad is an app that turns your iPad Pro into professional wireless graphics tablet for your Mac. I use it to work with Photoshop and Illustrator to create highly rendered artworks for my clients directly on my iPad. I was super excited to discover Astropad because the painting apps available on iPad don't have all the functionality like Photoshop. With Astropad, I can use all my favorite and custom-made Photoshop brushes, which is super cool. And because you are part of Artside of Life community, you will get an exclusive 10% discount on Astropad Studio licenses. To get started, go to artsideoflife.com/astropad and enter the promo code ARTSIDE. And now, let's go back to the interview. And so, how did you find the publisher for the book, or how how did they find you, or how this project actually started?
They were most of the emails were introed with something like, "We found your artworks on Behance or DeviantArt or Facebook," and they would tell me that my black and white drawings would fit well as a coloring book. So that would usually become the starting point of the project. They would ask me for a fee if it's for the whole book or for each artwork of the page, and they would ask me if I can manage deadlines. If it's like sometimes they would ask me if I should be the one to do the scheduling, or they should be the one to give me a timeline for it.
Yeah. And then you agree on like maybe it's 4 months, and then also you agree on amount of works, I guess, what you will work on.
Well, usually there's a limited set of artworks that's needed. It usually is 30 to 50 artworks per coloring book. Mm-hmm. So most of the time I would price it for how many artworks and for the requirements for each drawing. Like for my latest, it's a bit hard because they wanted me to create environments for each page, and a different environment for each of the coloring scenes. So like it was really challenging because I'm not used to drawing environments. So I was able to ask for more fee, and it got approved.
Oh, perfect. Nice. And when you also mentioned that when you're starting on a new project, how does it usually, work for you? Like, do you start with thumbnails, or do you sketch the idea with the pencil, or do you directly go with the pen? Or maybe you can take us through some bullet points of your artistic process.
Actually, the first thing that I do is I would wait. That depends on the project, actually. If it's like a big project with a lot of drawing, I would start by getting myself in the right mood, get inspired and creative by listening to good music and doing some warm-up sketches. And I would normally look through a lot of photos in my phone, which I saved for references. They're not just artworks, they're photos of a building that inspired me, or a food that looks really good and can be translated into characters. Then I would do quick sketches while I try different pens and decide which one should be perfect for the project. And after that, I would normally brainstorm by myself. and do a bit of research. Look for the right images and good reference for the project. After that, once I get everything ready, I would start drawing. And if I needed to, some of my clients would ask me to send sketches before I move on into inking. So if I needed to, I would send them sketches every time, and then if it's approved, I would go directly to inking. I would only take breaks when my hands really hurt because I almost had an operation with my hand because of carpal tunnel for drawing too much. Yeah,
Why?
and I would do like exercises in between each breaks, and sometimes I would do this routine wherein I would cover up my artwork with something so that I won't be able to see it during my breaks. So by the time I get back to seeing it, I would find the mistakes and the areas I can improve on. Because usually, when you're looking at something for so long, your eyes and your brain start to adjust and tell yourself that nothing's wrong with it. So when you take those breaks, yeah, you get to notice the things that weren't supposed to be like that. And before finalizing, I would usually do that same routine but with longer periods, like finish the project tonight and then just look at it when I wake up, so that I'll have a refreshed mind. And it usually takes me 1 to 3 days, 5 to 8 hours a day to finish a project, a drawing.
Yeah, yeah. And do you have like a favorite pen you cannot live without? Like, this is my baby?
Uh, I'm torn between two pens. Actually, it's a Unipin with a fine point and a Tombow brush pen, which is like the perfect brush because the perfect pen because you can just have one pen and have different thicknesses for the tip,
Yeah.
and it actually works really well.
Oh, cool, cool. And do you have also like a recommendation for paper you really like? Maybe also just for pens and also maybe for markers, because sometimes people are wondering like, oh, what is the best paper? Or it doesn't matter for you.
Actually, that I get asked about that so many times, but the truth is you really need to do your own trial and error for what paper matches a pen. Because some pen would like blot on some papers, and that same pen could do perfectly well on different paper.
Exactly. Yeah,
So
yeah,
that's
yeah.
trial and error.
Yeah, but it's always good to try like different things. That's why I always ask so people can
Yeah.
try and see like, oh, I don't like this one, and maybe I will like the next one. So.
Yeah.
And when you were mentioning the to improve things like all the time and learn new things, do you have a focus what you want to improve this year?
Probably anatomy. I've really enjoyed drawing monsters because you don't have to be correct about the length of the limbs and the size of the body. But now I think I need to maybe improve the way I build the body of the monsters. So I would want to learn more about anatomy, proper anatomy, the skeletal structures, the muscles, everything.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. And when you were like learning about the layouts and maybe the contrast and these kind of things, do you have recommendations for resources you like to learn from, or was it more from observation going out and other stuff as well?
It's mostly more on observation, but I can really recommend the Etherington Brothers. It's about a lot of tutorials in basic drawing and how to think when you draw.
Oh, cool, cool. So they have as a documentary or as a book or a course?
There's a book, but they also have images uploaded online on their website and even on their Instagram.
Oh, cool, cool. And do you have maybe other books you would give as a present? It doesn't have to be art book, something like like my favorite book to give as a present to my friends or something like that?
Actually, contrary to how people see artists right now, I'm not really into reading a lot of books. I don't really read books.
Yeah, yeah.
So if I'm supposed to give a book to a friend, to a creative friend, it would probably be my coloring book
Good, good. Yeah, that's always
if they
perfect.
want it.
Yeah. For
Yeah.
a relaxation, also when you travel, that's
Mhm.
super nice to color or just breaks from
Yeah.
other works. Yeah, yeah.
But some people would tell me that my coloring books are too stressful to color because of the details. But some people would enjoy it.
Yeah, I would definitely enjoy more details because then you have more options and then you can color
Yeah.
it differently. Yeah, yeah.
Yeah.
And if you go back to your art career, like, is there something you wish you knew before you started the whole journey?
Actually, I would want to have learned business management. I never really knew how hard it was to manage a business and to deal with clients, especially when the clients don't know what to do. And when you're in a business by yourself, you have to learn everything, like the money, especially the earnings, the taxes, everything. Um, you know what they say about artists, we hate numbers. But with money, you have to somehow be good at it. The other thing that I don't like the most about doing my own business is reading a lot of contracts, which is a big part of doing business with big clients. Plus, when it comes to money, you have to be strict and you have to have a set of plans, especially when it's a long-term project. And uh, that's about it. I think business management will really help me
And
a lot.
if you would kind of like have a suggestion for a starting artist, like, is it good maybe to charge per day or per hour, and or as you said, per project, like from your experience?
Actually, for me, I would charge per project because per day it doesn't really work for me well. Like I would be able to do uh, a whole page in one day, but for projects that requires less details, so the effort you put into that project is what counts,
Yeah.
and not the time. So for me, it's for per project.
Yeah. And do you have also advice for someone starting out, like how should they price themselves, how to kind of calculate? Or did you ask maybe your friends, like, okay, how much should I ask? Or, like to come up with the first amount where it's like, I don't know what to ask for. So how did you, come up with it? Or who did you ask?
Actually, it's a funny story because that was actually my first paid project for doodling. It was the first time I found out how to actually price my project. That first client was from Singapore, and he was a kid. He was 10 to 12 years old, I'm not really sure. And he wanted me to do an artwork for him that the artwork would have the word awesome in between, in the middle, and would be surrounded by different doodles. And he wanted me to send the original artwork to him in Singapore. And for me, that was a really challenging time because I didn't really have any experience in doing art for anyone else, especially paid artwork for a different country. So I was so hesitant in asking what kind of amount should be the fee for the project. But he told me that his mom would be the one to deal with me with the payments. So when I thought about it, and I came up with this price, which is 40 Singapore dollars. It's like 30 USD, US dollars. And I was so hesitant about it because that might be too pricey for them. And when I told her that, I think her mom instincts kicked in, and scolded me that I should be asking for more. And she even told me to ask for 350 SGD or US dollars or more for that single project. And I later found out that that was usually the average of the fee for artists to do a project,
Yeah,
which
yeah.
is really helpful because I've been using that for like 6 years now as a basis. That fee that
Oh,
she
that's
gave me.
super cool that she helped
Yeah.
you. Like, oh yeah, by the
Yeah.
way, like you should do this because yeah,
Mm.
as you mentioned, we when we are creating artwork, sometimes we are like, oh yeah, maybe that's too much, but we still have to make a living, and then you are
Yeah.
solving design solutions, and
Mm.
it's just like any other job, but we tend to underprice ourselves.
Mm. Yeah.
Yeah, yeah. And so when you mentioned also like different projects, so what do you live from right now? Is it mainly the books or client work, or how do you split your income streams?
Actually, I earn from different sources. One is my personal work, uh, where I brand myself as a single artist, and one is from my group. It's actually not that much, not compared to my personal work, since most of my clients on my personal work is foreign countries, and for my group, it's local. So we have less fee for projects like that here. Plus, with our group, we have to like uh, share the earnings to other members of the group or the group fund. And I would also earn from side businesses. Like I started a small printing business, but most of the fee that I get is from personal work, and that's how I saved. Because with personal work, it's like my cash cow for for myself, and the other things that I do is like I do it for fun or for self fulfillment.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. Did you have like a favorite project recently, which is maybe like the most memorable you want to share?
Uh, right now, it's my latest coloring book, the fourth one. It released late last year, and after that, I'm currently working for a brand, a local brand right now, but I can't mention it yet.
Yeah, yeah. I'm
But I
sure
also
that's
have
still confidential, right?
yeah, yeah. And I'm working as an influencer as well for some reason.
Oh, nice.
An influencer for different brands, and I'm really excited about it.
Oh, that's really cool. So you work with the sponsorship mainly on like Instagram or YouTube uh, or do you want to share that also how your influencer thing works?
Uh, uh, my clients would usually ask for my Instagram account because that has the most follower count, but they would even ask for my personal Facebook page because my personal Facebook page is really uh, interactive, and I can talk to my friends, my followers there. And for my Instagram, it's more of just posting and interacting on a minimal scale.
Yeah, 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 definitely. Because also you can have a higher engagement on
Mhm.
Facebook,
Yeah.
and then Instagram you have a bigger community which you can talk to. So yeah, yeah, definitely. And
But it if
yeah, sorry.
but if it the aim is for artists, they would prefer Instagram. But if it's like for the public, the people, random people, it's more on the Facebook.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. Because there are so many channels we can, share like different recommendations for brands
Yeah.
as well. And yeah, now I was thinking as well, like you have Twitch, you have YouTube, you have LinkedIn now, you have Behance. Everything is like you can reach in all directions.
I'm actually a bit hesitant in posting influencer work, promotional work in my Instagram because I wanted to keep it artsy and not look as if I was selling out to different brands. So whenever a brand wants me to post something that is not really art related, I would usually decline.
Because it should be relevant. If it is a
Yeah,
drawing pen, then it makes sense. If it
yeah,
is a, I
exactly.
don't know, a car, maybe that's questionable.
Yeah.
And if we talk about also still the art career, and maybe what would you consider the most difficult time of your art career, and maybe what was the learning from it, because usually that's where we, kind of learn the most.
I think the most difficult time would be, well, I had to decide which part of my career to focus on. Like, I have a personal work plus I have a group work, and both of them are really demanding a lot of my focus. And actually, another thing that is really difficult for me was when I feel regretful for the things that I did in the past. Like, I feel very regretful for not taking advantage of my career momentum before. Because before, when I started, when my doodles were posted online, they would go viral very quickly, and I would get like four or five times, 4 or 5 clients a week for every post. And when my artworks went viral, all I had to do was upload the work and get a client right away. But it all became too easy for me, and I kind of got so bored. And the feeling of not getting any challenge in your life, yeah, it made me feel sad and uninspired. Uh, People would think that that's a silly thing to do because you get motivated when you get a lot of clients. But for me, it kind of became the opposite, and I started to procrastinate more. I would go to the mall and go to different places and not do art and just ignore the emails that I get. So I kind of got depressed for a while and felt so uninspired, and I actually wondered if my hobby is still the thing that I love. And when I started to get less traffic on my email, it got me so depressed. But since I'm the head of the group, I got so inspired by the members, not just the famous ones like Kirby, Kirby Rosanes, uh, even the kids and the young ones who are still struggling. It really inspired me to give it my best and stop being uninspired, and that's how I got through all of it.
So the biggest takeaway would be to be part of the creative group, which you can
Yeah.
talk with them and inspire each other.
I actually learned a lot from my members because since most of them are really into doodling, and they have different styles. I would learn something from them, a different element or how to draw something, and some of them would have a different kind of business. Like, some of them would sell stickers, and I would ask them where to get the stickers printed or get the posters printed. And it's really helpful in terms of connection and like references for what to use. Or it's like we help each other to improve.
Yeah. And how this group started?
Uh, there was this contest before about doodling. I think it was like 7 years ago. It was from a group named We Will Doodle. They were a group that I looked up to. So when they had a contest, I kind of joined and tried my luck. So that time, a lot of people actually joined the contest, and I was surprised that there was so much doodle artists in the Philippines. So sadly, I wasn't able to go to the awarding because I was the one of the winners. But those doodle artists, those kids who were there, they started this group. It's called Doodlers Art Enthusiast back then. So they wanted me to be part of that group, but they wanted to look legit before they invited me because most of them were followers of my work and some of them were my fans. And when they got to like, I think 60 members, they decided to contact me through Facebook and then ask me if I wanted to be part of the group. So after that, when I became part of the group, I started to feel as if the group wasn't reaching its full potential. And I asked some of the members if they wanted it to like improve or to get clients. So since I was not the oldest guy, but I was the most experienced guy at that time, they decided to make me the head of the group, so I can make all the decisions and just ask them for the help to promote our group. So that's when I started to think of a new name that would make more sense. So I named it Doodle Art Enthusiast. So lovers of doodle art. And I even made us our own logo and a branding, which is like the doodling community, because it's a lot of kids who wants to doodle or who likes doodling or who does doodling, and it's a mixture of different people from different locations in the Philippines. So that's it.
And can anyone join, or it's only as a local? Is it a closed group, or if someone now listening love doodling and they would like to join your group, can they apply?
Actually, most of the members are Filipinos, but we have a lot of members who are from different countries. You just need to search for our group online. It's the official, and then just join the group and wait for the questionnaires. And it's usually just questions about if you like doodling or what you do and where you live. That's it.
Oh, nice!
It's easy to join.
Cool. So we can put it in the show notes so people can check it
Yeah.
out. And so, what do you do in the group? Do you also do like a contest, or do you give assignments, or are there any special activities as well?
We've done a lot of activities actually. We would do assignments before to keep the group active, but now it's more about promoting the group professionally. So every year we would have this exhibit called Doodle Fest, and that would be an exhibit that has a theme, but with one single style, which is doodle art. And that celebration would be in a span of 1 month. It would be a 1 month exhibit show, since it's not only about the exhibit, it's more about the activities that we do. One activity is a doodle clash. It's a battle between two teams who are doodling on the spot. And another is a doodle talks for it's an event where we invite artists outside the group to inspire the members to become an artist as well. And sometimes we would even invite some of their members to do the talk. And another is a doodle session, which is a small class for people who want to learn how to doodle. So that's actually about. And we would sometimes meet up just for fun and just do doodles together.
And when you mentioned the speakers, or when you have this exhibition, that's like a physical location, right?
Mm-hmm. Yeah. We have a partner exhibit area, which is a space, and they would give us an X deal, and we would be able to do the whole exhibit there for the whole month
Oh, nice.
For a small fee.
Oh, perfect. And then people visiting, they can also purchase the
Yeah.
artworks, right? And like
Yeah,
a normal exhibition.
everything's for sale. We
Perfect.
would even have a merch booth for the artists to sell some of their merchandise, like stickers and printed shirts and small prints.
Oh, really nice. Yeah, perfect. Yeah, I need to research it more. It sounds awesome. So I'm looking forward to see some of your new exhibitions. Maybe you can post about it even more, like online or something
Yeah,
like that.
sure.
Awesome. Yeah, yeah. So I will check it out. And what about like a future projects? And some of my, like last questions would be about your dream scenario, in like 5 to 10 years. What would you like to be maybe working on, or where you are and what is happening?
Actually, in like a couple of years, I want to start traveling to different countries to do collaborations with different artists, because most of the time I spend the days working with artists locally, and I want to like widen my connection, especially with art. I want to meet a lot of people who do different things and have different styles, and maybe if they're interested, I would like love to collaborate with them. And I'm not really sure if I'm going to pursue a business, a design agency, but I'm really looking into it, for the possibility of starting it up. Yeah.
Oh, that would be super cool. So as a like you would have a studio, right? And then you can work with
Yeah.
other people, and yeah, that
Yeah.
sounds awesome.
Yeah, but actually, with my group, since most of the members are really inclined into doing just traditional work, um, only a few of them know how to do digital. So it would maybe be more difficult for me to start a team, but I'm still looking into it.
Go girl, yeah, because I think that would be super awesome. Then yeah, if you can have a group and then you can take on the bigger projects and
Yeah.
you have the similar style and just work together. And what about like a super far future? Like 100 years. What would you like to be remembered for?
Actually, I want to be remembered as one of the artists who was successful in promoting doodle art. Because back then, people didn't think of doodle art as an art style, as a legit art style, because everyone could probably do it. Just get a pen and draw circles. It's already doodling. So people didn't take it too seriously, and that's also the reason why we tried to name it doodle art instead of just doodling, so that it's no longer the usual doodling that you do when you get bored. It's actually a style, but it's a mixture of doodling and doing it for a purpose.
Yeah, definitely. Because
So that's
yeah, as you mentioned, yeah, it's perfect for branding because like you can incorporate any idea in a doodle style
Yeah.
and just it
It's
looks
very
awesome
flexible.
on anything. Yeah.
And actually, I also want to be remembered as someone who inspired a lot of people to start doing drawings or to get back at drawing. Because when I was so uninspired and I had trouble with doing new things when it comes to artworks, the thing that really motivated me was the messages from the followers who were so happy that I was still continuing my work, and they tell me that they started doodling or started drawing because they saw that I was drawing and they got inspired. And some of them even told me that they stopped doing art before because they were not seeing artworks that they really like. So when they saw mine, they realized that doodle art is something that anyone can try. They they can start small, maybe doing stick figures, then maybe making those stick figures fatter. And I think uh, with my group, I really want them to like remember me for being the person who helped them out with their careers. And I'm always so proud whenever someone becomes well known and someone who started inside the group.
Yeah.
So,
And they
yeah.
can make living out of art actually with your
Yeah.
help. So that's
Yeah.
super awesome. Yeah.
Yeah, that's a big deal for me.
Yeah, that's really nice that you help so many people. That's really like great. And yeah, and before maybe we say goodbye, you can share last piece of advice or key takeaway, and then we slowly
Uh,
finish.
Actually, the best advice I could give is to not take your success for granted, and instead use it as a stepping stone to get a bigger one, a bigger, more successful career. And the thing that I want to tell a lot of people is to not be discouraged whenever someone they know or someone from their art group surpasses them in a way that they get more achievements, or someone younger than you were able to achieve better things. Because most of the artists I know is discouraged easily whenever they see someone who didn't used to draw better than them, and now they're earning more. So it's like the wider the gaze of the people who are doing art, the more they realize that their art is not that significant or not that original. So I think you shouldn't be discouraged by that, because we all have our own different timelines for success. As long as we continue to put out the work and put our best into it, if it doesn't matter if we're moving slow, as long as we're moving forward. So actually, if you just put all your best to something, you will surprise yourself to how much you can actually really do. And the last thing is to just stay humble, and let your art do the talking.
Yeah, perfect. Yeah, that was really nicely said as well. And thank you so
Thank
much
you.
again for being here. It was so nice.
Thank you very much.
So it was
I'm actually really surprised that I became part of this the list of amazing artists that you
Oh.
interview.
Thank you so much that you enjoy that your art is awesome. So thank you so much again for being here.
Thank you very much. Thank you.
It was super cool, definitely my pleasure. And then thanks everyone who joined today as well. And keep inspiring each other, and see you in the next episode.
Thank you.
Hey guys, thank you so much for watching. I really appreciate you being here. And if you enjoyed this video, please subscribe, because I post new videos every week. I would be also super happy if you let know your thoughts in comments and give the video a thumbs up. You can find all the resources mentioned in this episode at artsideoflife.com. Just type a guest name in the search bar. There is also a couple of free artist resources ready for you. So if you want to listen to the interviews on the go too, make sure to check out the podcast at artsideoflife.com/podcast. Continue to inspire each other, and I will see you guys in the next episode. Bye!